Part 8 is here as we continue on to Pokemon Blue. And we're head off to Vermilion City. I figured out Viridian is Giovanni's area.
Ain't covered spoiled it.
People already.
Giovanni, who's Giovanni? Who's he?
We'll figure it out later.
Who's this Giovanni to go?
Now, in this part, we will get to Vermilion City here. But that's just about it. So it's just our travel all the way there. Now, I don't stop and talk to the guy that's in the daycare, which is a daycare, pretty much. You want to explain how daycare works at least in this game?
No.
Okay, then fine.
That's good.
The daycare is here. You can leave one Pokemon, and not in later generations it'd be added to 2. I think starting in the second. But in the first generation, you can only leave one Pokemon in the daycare, and it'll raise the daycare can raise your that one Pokemon for you. And it's based on how many steps it'll give for experience to gain to a level. But there are some drawbacks for putting a Pokemon in a daycare. And that is if the Pokemon is supposed to let's start with moves first. Pokemon, whatever, it'll learn the move, whatever level it was at. Let's say if you put a Weedle in there at level 3, it won't learn any moves. But if you level it past the leveling, like a Kakuna at level 7, it will not evolve. And since it learns Harden on level 7, it will not learn Harden. That Kakuna won't learn Harden. Now, if it goes past level 10, where Beedrill will learn Fury Attack, it will not learn Fury Attack. So there is some drawbacks. First, that you'll miss out evolving Pokemon at the correct time. And maneuvers, let's start with, let's say, Kadabra here. You'll learn 2 more moves since there's 2 more slots. But on that next third move that it learns in the daycare, it takes over that top spot, whatever it was going at. If it started in 3rd or 4th, that next move is going to take over that first move, Teleport, for whatever move it learned. And it keeps going back down. So so you need to be careful of what specific move that's coming up, but it's going to take the place as the maneuver that it's lined up with. So there are some drawbacks to having Pokemon in the daycare.
Right now you are fighting a squirrel that is not a rivals. You're fighting a starter Pokemon.
Yeah, I think it's usually in this generation. I think Generation 2 does introduce the Generation 1 starters again, but most other generations I remember don't do. Other trainers won't have your starters unless it's you and your rival.
But I think Generation 2 does.
Kind of does that, but not on the other generations. But grew to level 19. See, this Kadabra is starting to pay off a little bit more than the Pikachu has been doing, unfortunately. But hey, you do what you can.
Speaking of, there's a Pikachu that just got critical hit.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, Psychics have it worse, because I think critical hits. You mentioned it's your speed stat, but I think it's in this generation it's going to be your special stat, and that's what made Psychics even dangerous. So I think critical hits was measuring your special attack, but Psychics were good for. So Psychics, I think, if I remember correctly, did a lot of critical hits a lot of times. And this one, we continue on. Poison powder.
At least it's not as bad as stun support.
Paralyzes you. That's about it.
But it can also confuse you in that being paralyzed confuses too.
Well, as we make our way along the way through this pathway, we're actually almost done through this pathway, to tell you the truth.
It's not long.
No, it's not a long path, to tell you the truth. There are 2 more trainers I do fight, as I use an antidote to cure some poison.
I also learned Disable.
Yeah, I probably won't use it very much.
Because it's not very good to use it, but if the opponent uses on you, it can be annoying.
Yeah, especially if it's a maneuver that you rely on.
Yeah.
So it's always a safe assumption to have 2 moves to rely on. But yeah, I probably won't keep that disabled for very long. So we hit 3 seconds, stuff like that. Or confusion, I'm sorry. Now, I do believe we're in this part here. It'll go by real fast, but once we get to Vermilion City, I am going to get the old rod and the bike voucher, which allows you to get a free bike, which costs a lot of money, more than you can actually have in this game. It's the only way to get a bike. Yes. So explain what a bike does in Pokemon games.
Makes it go faster.
Yes. Beats your walking speed, speeds up your walking speed and whatnot.
Because there is no running in the first 2 generations.
No. So you rely on your bike to do a lot of your speed. Now, you can't use your bike in every place that you can be. It's mostly buildings that you can't really do it at. But yeah, bike's important because it speeds up your walking speed, so it won't take so long. And an old rod is, well, a fishing rod, and it's only good for catching Magikarp.
Yep. Which is the best thing ever. Do you use a Magikarp?
No, not in this round. Maybe in Crystal. I haven't decided yet. Well, not really Magikarp, it's evolved form, more or less. But there are more rods other than just the old rod. There is,
There aren't?
Yeah, there are. There's 2 more rods: the good rod and a super rod. Yeah, and basically all it is allows you to catch you more Pokemon than more Pokemon with a good rod does a little bit more Pokemon other than just Magikarp.
We can still get Magic.
Yes, but a Super Rod gets you some pretty good water Pokemon if you really wanted it.
You can only really get water Pokemon through this, but fishing rods.
Yeah, or for surfing. But I think you mainly just get Tentacle, which is pretty much the exact same problem as a Zubat in caves.
And right here you're catching something.
A Diglett.
And why is that?
Because the next gym leader is electric base. And Diglett is a ground based Pokemon, which electric types are weak to. Now originally, like I said in the first part, that I got Charmander to learn Fly, only to realize I can't learn Fly in this generation. I had the same problem with the Diglett. I got Diglett so I can use Strength later on, only to find out Diglett in its evolved form, Dugtrio, can't learn Strength in this generation.
Yay.
So if I remember it correctly, I'm probably wrong, but I do believe
you teach him opposite like that.
Well, no, of course Diglett can't fly, but I think I do teach Charmeleon and later on Charizard Strength. Now to get the bike voucher to get your bike, you come talk to this guy and listen to his story
about Rapidash.
Yep. And for you get this is just a voucher. If you want the bike, you have to head back to Vermilion City, where the town where Misty is, and go to the store and change it out for a bike. And I'll probably do that later when we head to Rock Tunnel.